Why it's being played at Santa Fe Christian? That is.
Tri-City does have their own field.
They must be from La Jolla Country Day. Okay.
We're recording. Whenever you guys want to go on, let me know.
Okay.
I'm ready.
You call it.
Good afternoon and welcome to Saturday Afternoon Football on PlayOnSports.com. It's the pregame show live from Santa Fe Christian High School in Solana Beach. Matt Flores alongside Andrew Lockard on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. And Andrew, got an interesting game today. First game of the year is always going to be a little dicey situation, but Tri-City Christian hosting La Jolla Country Day on a neutral surface, but actually it's going to be a Tri-City Christian home game. And I got a chance to talk to the coaches. Your thoughts on this matchup today?
Well, we have two good programs here. We have La Jolla Country Day coming off a 7-5 season. Tri-City Christian, surprising, they went 9-3 last year. They're two teams that saw each other last season. That was a victory for La Jolla Country Day. I believe the final score was 23-12 in that game. So we're the two teams that have seen each other before. The thing is with this game, though, is that both schools have short staffs, not big rosters. I think about 30 people aside. So there's going to be a fatigue issue there, especially during a day game like this with the sun beating down on them. You imagine that they're going to be running the ball more than they're going to be throwing the ball. But definitely fatigue's going to be a factor, maybe a little bit of confusion, especially because these teams don't have that much time to prepare coming into the season as you would see at a college or a professional level. They really just come straight out of camp into the first game. So I think there's going to be some issues with play calling, maybe a little bit of hiccups in terms of getting everybody in the right positions. But definitely two competent teams here.
Yeah, and it's not a steamy day, you would say, but it's about 80 degrees, maybe high 70s, but an interesting irregularity, really, in the weather patterns here lately. Very muggy, about 60% humidity, and like you said, short rosters, a lot of players going both ways. That could be a factor.
I think so. I think especially we're going to see the game slow down a little bit in the second half, probably towards the end of the fourth quarter. Especially, we're going to see things slow down. But like I said, I think that's going to lean more towards a running game than a passing game where players have to run those long routes.
Both teams used to success. La Jolla Country Day, led by head coach Jeff Hutzler, in his 11th season, 89-27 record, impressive over that span. Meanwhile, Tri-City Christians with head coach Rick Brown, with 6 years under his belt, a 27-18-2 record. Both seem very confident and very excited to get the season underway. And a couple interesting notes for Tri-City Christian. They lost probably their leader, the quarterback coming into the year, decided to give up football, concentrate on golf. So they'll be inserting Zach Hensley, who's played, with the varsity for 2 years now, but now he's got to step into that leadership role behind center. And it'll be interesting to see how he steps into that and adjusts, as well as the rest of the team around him.
You were mentioning that Hensley's a bit of an athlete, perhaps not the strongest arm. Quarterback, not a position he's really accustomed to, but he's definitely a leader out on the field, but he's an athlete. We might see a little bit of scrambling from him, more not going too deep into the pocket, more of a running game out of him. But you're right when we say that La Jolla Country Day has been accustomed to success. They made it into the second round of the CIF playoffs last season in their division. So they're a team that's used to winning, and I think they're going to come in with high expectations with this season as well. They have a lot of seniors, a lot of leadership on this team. And we were talking to Coach Hutzler before the game, and he was saying the trick is if his team stays healthy and executes well, they're going to have a successful season, he thinks.
Both teams made it to the quarterfinals last year, and they'll be excited to get this season underway and get it going. That's going to be it for the pregame show. We're going to take a step away, and we'll be back with all the action here on PlayOnSports.com. Welcome back and good afternoon here on PlayOnSports.com. Ready for kickoff. Matt Flores alongside Andrew Lockard from Santa Fe Christian High School in Solana Beach. La Jolla Country Day meeting Tri-City Christian. The Eagles of Tri-City Christian will be returning to start the game. Back deep to return, Tim Wolf alongside Deshaun Berger, transfer from Mission Hills over the summer, and set to kick it away, Lee Wallace for the Tories. Kicking from the 40. It's going to be end over end towards Wolf. Wolf steps back to his one, loses it at the goal line. Now he's going to pick it up at the 2, slips a little, gets going forward. Flag on the play as he's brought down at the 14, and we'll have to check on the marker.
You know, it's an interesting play right there because it's kind of an on-the-fly decision. If you let that ball just drift into the end zone, it goes for the automatic touchback, but he decided to touch it before it went into the end zone, right around the 1-yard line, and take it out himself. But I think that ended up costing him some yardage.
Not only did it cost him yardage, he didn't quite get out to the 15, and the flag's going to be a hold against the return team, so that'll back him up half the distance to about the 7.5-yard line, where the Eagles will take over 1st and 10, just underway here in Solana Beach.
We were talking to Coach Rick Brown before the game, and he mentioned that he's got a lean team here, though. Like we mentioned in the pregame, a bit of a short roster. So everybody on the team needs to step up, and he was mentioning that they're looking for, faith.
Hensley gives it straight ahead to the fullback. Not much room, maybe gets out to the 10. Interesting, they came out with 4 wideouts and just ran it right up the gut.
I want to clarify that I don't mean religious faith. I mean faith in the team, faith in the people around them, and everybody needing to step up and fill those roles that need to be filled.
It was a belief, is what he said. Believe that we're good, we can get this done, and it seems like that's what he wants to resonate through his team.
I was paraphrasing, of course.
Benjamin Geese took the opening handoff on 1st down. He's again behind the quarterback on 2nd. We have movement along the line and another flag on the play.
Looks like that's going to go against La Jolla Country Day. And that will make up for the initial mistake of not taking the touchback and the holding call.
The one thing you always are concerned about on the opening game is penalties. Already 2 penalties in this game, and we're just underway. Hensley under center. 1 wide out to the near side. They're going to send the slot in motion. That's Berger. He's going to take it on a sweep, looking for room. Tries to break to the outside, and he's tackled up around the 13-yard line. Not much room.
La Jolla Country Day, they're looking good initially in the first few goes here on defense. And that's something that they've excelled at the past couple years, although it's been a little overshadowed, I think, by their offensive play. They had some big wins last season. When they won their games, they tended to win by big margins.
3rd down and about 4 for the Eagles as they break huddle on the opening drive of the season for both teams. Again, 4 wide receivers and Geese behind Hensley. Now they're going to send a man in motion. That's Wolf. They're going to fake the pitch to Wolf, get it underneath to Geese. He gets going forward, ahead of steam, gets out past the 20, and that's going to be enough for a Eagle 1st down.
Oh, good run there. Good execution on that play. A little bit of deception, and that fooled the La Jolla Country Day defense.
Always nice to get a 1st down in your opening drive, especially when you're backed up inside your own 20 on that penalty. So the Eagles out past the 20 to the 21. It'll be 1st and 10. And 2 receivers near side on the short side of the field. Hensley loses the snap. It's loose on the ground still as some Tories file in there.
I think the Tories might be under it, on top of it, rather.
Well, the official's holding up 2nd down, which usually means the offense recovered it. And, yeah, I thought with you there was a lot more Tory players in the middle of that pile, but somehow the Eagles able to recover.
And it looks like Hensley might have just slipped out of his hands right off the snap, or maybe he was trying to hand it off to somebody and that got miscued. But either way, the Eagles are going to land on top of that one.
Wing to the far side of the field. Hensley puts Wolf in motion again. This time they're going to pitch it to him around the right side, trying to get around the corner. The Tories gobble it up in the backfield. Big loss.
And it looks like when the Eagles are running those big outside handoffs, the pitches to the outside, that the Tories are just sniffing those plays out and not able to get much yardage there.
Well, even on the fake earlier, it seemed like the Tories bid on that, went way out wide, and that opened up the middle. So They were expecting that, the wide runs coming their way right here. Third down, we'll call it 16 as the ball back at the own 15-yard line of the Eagles. Two receivers near side. Will we see our first pass of the game? Hensley under center. Going to send Wolf in motion from the near side. Fake it to him. Rolling near side and sacked back at the 7-yard line. Hensley goes down.
That was Nathan Mikulski. He just read that play like a book in a strong stride up the middle, brought the quarterback down, and he didn't even have time to read the play to see if he can even get that pass off.
The Tory ends on that defense are really keeping containment. I mean, there's been no room to run outside for the Eagles. They'll be forced to punt here. And it looks like it'll be Giese back to punt it just inside his own end zone. Torres will try to return it from about midfield, showing blitz. They come after the punt. He gets it away, and it's going to bounce around the 38, and the coverage will get down there, and that's where they'll touch it down, right at the 40. So great field position here for the Tories on their first offensive drive of the game.
I think that's a smart read by Burmeister, too, not to really go after that bouncing ball. Could have gotten himself in trouble, could have actually lost some yardage, but smart play just to let that one sit.
And Burmeister, known as one of the leaders on the Tories, he's pretty much the do-everything player, according to Coach Hutzler, so we'll be calling his name often today.
And I've had a couple looks at him the last few seasons. He's strong. I think he's best when he's in the running back position. He's got a lot of speed and a lot of force behind him.
Garcia out of the gun, three receivers near side. He's going to run the option left side and drilled and dropped behind the line of scrimmage. And that was Zach Aiken getting in there and making the play.
Looks like Aiken combined on that play, but not a whole lot of chance for the offense of the Tories on their side of the ball.
7:30 to go, first quarter, no score between Tri-City Christian and the Tories of La Jolla Country Day. Tories on their first drive inside of Eagle territory. That's where they took over. They actually lose yardage. It'll be 2nd and 11. Garcia sends a man in motion across the formation on the eye. They give it straight ahead. Going forward, not much room there for the tailback McMahon, and again, flags on the play.
I didn't catch what the penalty was there. Let's see what the referees call.
You know, it went up so immediately. It's usually some type of a formation type of a play because I mean, as soon as it was snapped, they tossed the flags.
Yeah, it looks like they saw a false start on the Tories. That's going to cost them. They'll be right around midfield now.
And go from 2nd and 11 to 2nd and 16. So the Tories going backwards. Both these schools made it to the quarterfinals of the CIF Division 5 playoffs last year, and actually it looks like
they declined that penalty.
Declines a penalty. So it'll be now 3rd and we'll call it 11 for the Tories. Offset eye behind Garcia, back to pass, looking near side, rolling out, gets it off. Good pass completed at the 35 to the 30 as big Nathan Mikulski, the tight end, gets close to a first down.
And we saw him make that sack earlier. He's good on both sides of the ball today. Good early start for Mikulski.
They're going to mark it at the 29, and that will, in fact, move the chains for the Tories as they overcome that penalty. Under 7 minutes to go. First drive of the game for the Tories, and they're already threatening at the Eagle 29-yard line. One receiver to either side. Offset eye, fullback to the right, or your near side of the screen. Garcia under center. Mikulski on the near side. Play action, rolling to his left, has a man, throws it to the fullback at the 25, 20, 15, still on his feet, the 10, bowls over one man down to the 5-yard line.
Josiah Patoa, and wow, he's got a lot of muscle on him. He bowled over Tri-City player there, even though he was under a lot of pressure.
Hard to miss Patoa. He's going to be your Mike linebacker inside for the defense and also the fullback for the Tories on offense. And came out of the backfield. Nice, accurate throw by Garcia. And the Tories are in business inside the 10 at the 6-yard line. First down, goal to go. Garcia calls his own number off the right guard, dives forward inside the 5 to about the 2-yard line. and they're knocking on the door.
I think they're just going to try and hammer this ball into the end zone. It looks like a lot of their players are strong, they're powerful, and still early in the game. A lot of juice left on their side. I think they're just going to try and hammer this one home with the running game.
Tories trying to take advantage of great field position. They took over inside Eagle territory around the 40. Now Garcia, again with the offset eye. Patoa going to lead block. They're going to give it straight ahead to the tailback. McMahon dives towards the goal line. No signal yet.
It's going to be close.
And the officials are going to call it third down right at the goal.
Just shy. Like I said, I think we're going to see another play similar to that, and they're just going to try and drive that one in.
And McMahon loses his helmet. The new rule this year, you lose your helmet, you actually have to go off the field for a play. So backup tailback will be in. McMahon, one of their leaders, 6 foot, 200-pound tailback, big, powerful guy. And here we are, third and goal inside the 1. Garcia under center. He's going to take it himself right up the middle, off the right side of center. He's into the end zone.
Oh, he was in.
And late call. They finally put up the arms, and it's 6-0 La Jolla Country Day.
Yeah, he just threaded the needle. There was a big hole right up the middle, and he walked right in it. I think he was actually in the end zone and got pushed back out. That was sort of the confusion we saw by the referees, but they made the right call there.
Yeah, it looked like maybe some confusion along the defensive line. Two huge gap right in the middle. I mean, Garcia could have walked in there unimpeded pretty easily, and he did so. 4:47 to go. And on to try the extra point is Lee Wallace, trying to give La Jolla Country Day a 7-0 lead as he marks off his steps and gets ready to kick it off the hold to Jimmy Prosser. Snaps good. Prosser puts it down, and the kick is up and right down the middle of the uprights. And first drive of the game for the Tories, first drive of the season for the Tories, and they march down the field, punch it in, and they lead Tri-City Christian 7-0.
And a great drive from them. Their offense really looked good. They had some running plays that were successful, some passing plays that panned out for them as well. So it looks like they're sort of firing on all cylinders offensively. Everything looks like a green light to go right now for the Tory offense early in this season.
Yeah, mixed it up well. Even had a couple third down conversions in there. And what better way to start the season than getting a big defensive stop, shortening that field, and marching right down and scoring. And we'll see if Tri-City Christian can answer after that with 4:47 to go. And La Jolla Country Day off to a great start to their 2012 season.
So Tri-City Christian, they had some offensive miscues on their first drive. We'll see if they can come up with an answer now. Like we said before in the pregame, that these teams don't have a lot of time to prepare for these initial games of the season. So you do see a lot of miscues and a lot of lack of preparation that shows up, and obviously not their fault. That's just the nature of their scheduling. But Tri-City, see if they can come back and see who steps up to the plate for their team.
Tim Wolf lined up on the far hash. Near hash is going to be Deshaun Berger, 2 juniors. La Jolla Country Day loaded with a lot of seniors. And the kick underway. And it's going to get over Wolf's head and into the end zone for a touchback. That's actually going to work out better than the first time, as the Eagles will start at their own 20 this time instead of inside the 10.
And like I said, I think that was an error last time to touch that ball right around the 1-yard line and try and run it up himself. The automatic touchback, you know, it can be a weapon if the other team has a strong kicker and they can always just pin the other team to the 20-yard line. But with La Jolla Country Day, they have a lot of speed on their special teams unit. Well, it's a lot of the same players you see on the offensive and defensive units as well. But they have a lot of speed, so it might be dangerous to try and run and make a kick return.
Hensley sends Wolf in motion across the formation. They fake the pitch. They give it to Giese coming back to the near side, and again gobbled up by the Tories defense.
That's just stifling defense from the Tories, doing an excellent job containing the run.
It seemed like La Jolla Country Day has read every play except one early where they did that same exact inside handoff to Giese. Other than that, they've sniffed out everything.
Yeah, and we've seen it from the inside, we've seen it from the outside. They just cannot seem to get the run off. When they tried to make a pass play, there was a lot of pressure applied. And you're right, it looks like it's just solid defensive play calling.
Hensley, the 5'11" senior quarterback, looks near side. 2 receivers tight, back to pass, looking near side, downfield, overthrows, picked off at the 35 by La Jolla Country Day. Running to the far side, 25, inside the 25, as a great play, but a errant throw, and Will Edwards comes away with the INT for the Tories.
And just like that, it was a dangerous pass from Hensley, and I saw what happened there. He had a lot of hands up in front of him, obstructing his view. I think he knew he had a player in that vicinity, but a dangerous pass to get off, and that was just almost too easy of a pick right there for the Tories.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a window, and on top of that, the throw was a little far out of the reach of the receiver, and La Jolla Country Day takes advantage. The return puts it back at the 23-yard line of Tri-City Christian, and again, Tories with great field position. Garcia out of the gun. 2 receivers near side. Sends a man in motion across. They're going to give it on a sweep across the formation to the 20, inside the 20, as Burmeister dives forward, picks up about 7.
And like I mentioned, I think that's Burmeister when he's at his best, is when he's on his feet with the running game. But an excellent play and a pretty convincing sell there by Garcia on the fake.
Yeah, Garcia, a senior quarterback, one of the captains of the Tories. And you're right, it took us a minute there to see where the ball actually went. Burmeister was already around the end. As much as we were fooled, so was Tri-City Christian. 2nd down and 3. Burmeister in the slot on the far side of the field. Edwards wide out to the near side. Burmeister in motion. They're going to run a draw play right up the middle. Garcia still on his feet, spins to the 5, flung forward down at the 1. But a big pickup and another first down for the Tories.
Oh, what a run by Garcia, too. Burmeister, he timed that excellent. The snap almost went right in front of Burmeister, so he had trouble figuring out where the ball was, a lot of deception. And Garcia had that excellent spin move to pick up a couple more yards and place that ball right shy of the end zone.
Knocking on the door once again. It's going to be 1st and goal from about the 1-yard line. McMahon, the tailback. Edwards across the formation. And it's going to be Burmeister out of the Wildcat. Running sweep left side. Tiptoes into the end zone. Touchdown, Tories.
Excellent play, excellent execution. They're showing a lot of offensive creativity. I think that might be part of the Tories' strategy here, is to just come out strong out of the gate. Never give Tri-City a chance to catch up. And like I said, these players are going to get tired by the end of this game, so a good early showing from the Tories, I think that's going to put them at a really strong advantage.
And they'll be on to try the extra point. The PAT group on the field. Again, it's going to be Wallace out of the hold of Prosser, as the Tories all over Tri-City Christian here with 2:48 to go in the first. Snaps a little low. Prosser gets it down, and Wallace boots it up and through. And it's now 14-0 La Jolla Country Day, as they've been able to take advantage of tremendous field position, and that offense is just running on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, we haven't seen the ball leave the Tri-City zone so far, and that's cost them offensively, defensively. They just haven't been able to either advance that ball on offense or stop the Tory offense from moving down the field.
And like you said, as the game goes on, fatigue also could become a factor. So, you know, it's nice to get an early lead. 14-0 La Jolla Country Day over Tri-City Christian.
And do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here today? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all of their games and other activities on the web. For more information on that, go to playonsports.com/SBP. That's the School Broadcast Program.
Matt Flores alongside Andrew Lockard from Santa Fe Christian High School. Beautiful day here in Solana Beach. Neutral site for today's game as La Jolla Country Day on top of Tri-City Christian 14-0. Actually, this is a home game for Tri-City Christian. They don't have a home site, so kicking off the day, not much better location in Southern California today, about 1.5 miles from the coastline. Nice breeze, although it's still a bit sticky with about a 60% humidity. Kick is down the middle of the field. Wolf's going to be able to return this one. Actually bobbles it at the 8. He's going to have to track it down. It rolls into his own end zone, and now they're going to say it's a touchback as it gets into the end zone. So Tri-City Christian again will take over at the 20. That's unfortunate. If he returns that cleanly, he's got a chance to get it out past the 20.
Yeah, and you know, it's one of those gut calls when you see it coming at you, whether or not you think it's just going to hit the end zone or whether or not you think you have a chance at it. Because that ball, I think, was going to land probably somewhere around the 3 or 4 yard line, and from that point, If you think you can pick up the extra yards, get it past the 20, you know, it's a bit of a coin flip.
So Wolf's had a tough time so far on the kickoffs, at least judgment-wise. 1st and 10 from the 20 for Hensley. He's under center for the Eagles. Wolf in motion from the near side. They're going to fake the pitch. Hensley looking back now across the middle. Ball tipped at the line. He had Berger on a little slant route, and it falls incomplete. Good job knocking that one down.
I think that was Ziad Damaroy, one of the great defensive players on La Jolla Country Day squad.
Yeah, Damaray, one of the guys that Hutzler actually pointed out when we spoke to him. He said he's going to do a fabulous job for them on both sides of the ball, so getting in it early there with a pass knocked down at the line.
Not a small guy either. Stands 6'7", nearly 300 pounds.
That's some beef on the line. Wolf in motion, cross, fake the pitch. Hensley back to pass, looking far side of the field, throwing up in the air, and Burmeister puts up a paw and almost brought it in. Incomplete, but that was definitely more of a chance for the Tories to come away with it than the Eagles.
Yeah, there's been some suspect passing early in this game, but that shows you the kind of athlete that Burmeister is. We're going to be calling his name a lot, Matt, but you just saw him. He turned that play from a chance for a Tri-City player to get it into a Burmeister chance to pick it up, just through athleticism.
It was pure. I mean, he got up high, actually put one hand. It looked like for a moment he was going to be able to bring it down. 3rd and 10, 4 receivers, 2 to either side. They're going to run a draw play, and Giese wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage, nowhere to go, and the Eagles go 3 and out again, and a late flag comes flying in from the near side.
Yeah, some extracurriculars, I believe, on that play. It looked like that on Tri-City that was Mark Neal with some pushing and some shoving after. I'm going to speculate that that's what happened.
We'll wait for the official call, and I think you got it right, Andrew. So a 15-yarder tacked on.
I imagine there's plenty of early frustrations for the Eagles in this game. I mean, they just have looked impotent so far, and I think we see some expression of that out on the field.
So we'll see. It was a personal foul. Looks like I guess it was declined.
Interesting.
And I thought it was post-play, so it wouldn't have mattered. Either way, Tri-Cities Christian will be punting this away. Burmeister standing at midfield. High snap. Kick is up. High spiral. Burmeister back to his own 46. Fields it cleanly. Makes one man miss. Picks up a block to coming to the near side. 50. Inside Tri-Cities Christian territory to the 30. Down the sideline. He's going to get to the 10. Cut it back to the 10. 5. Touchdown La Jolla Country Day.
Well, Matt, I told you we were going to be calling Burmeister's name. And you see why right there. Just such an athletic play. It looks like we see a flag for that celebratory spike, perhaps.
Little extra mustard on the celebration in the end zone. Burmeister, a 44-yard punt return, picked up one heck of a block inside his own territory, and then just zigzagged his way down the near sideline for the score. It's now 20-0. Pretty sure the penalty will go against La Jolla Country Day. It does, unsportsmanlike. And it'll back up the extra point to about the 18, if my math is correct.
But just an excellent run for Burmeister, and I think what made that work was the excellent blocking he got on his team. He got by with a little help from his friends on that play, but it was his sheer athleticism, his speed that got him to the end zone.
Well, if nothing else, this gives La Jolla Country Day and Coach Hustler a chance to evaluate the kicking unit, because they'll get to try a much longer PAT than the normal one. They'll settle it all up. They get set. So we're coming on a 20, make it a 35-yard PAT attempt for Wallace. Don't see very many of those.
No, it's going to be a long one, but we're definitely going to get a show of Wallace's leg on this attempt, see what kind of ability he has.
Good snap. Prosser gets it down. It's going to be up end over end. Does it have enough distance?
I think that fell short.
Just short. As it lands just past the inline, but couldn't quite get over the bar. And so the penalty cost La Jolla Country Day a point, and it's 20-0 as the Tories are all over Tri-City Christian here in the first quarter.
And PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights, that is. Follow us on PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games on YouTube and youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school sports action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. We really do an excellent job of putting everything up on social media so you can share it and tweet about it and Facebook about it and let everyone you know be abreast of everything that's going on in the high school sports world. And I think, with that kick especially, wind is a factor. Here at Santa Fe Christian, we're on the top of a hill. We're up on the broadcast booth, actually, closer to the sun. And wind is a factor. You can probably hear it a little bit blowing into the microphones, and I think that's going to make it tough to make those long kicks.
Wallace tees it up at the 40-yard line. Looks like Wolf has been replaced on this particular kick return for the Eagles, and this one's going to go down the middle. Early return from the goal line as Hunter Stump breaks out to the 20 on the near side, still on his feet to the 25, driven down at the 27-yard line. Another late flags comes flying in from midfield after the play.
Well, those flags are just going to slow the pace of this game down, and I don't think that was a good penalty to take, whatever it was.
And unfortunately, I think they're pointing against Tri-City Christian here in the huddle, but we'll wait for the official call. That is who it's against. So Tri-City Christian was about to get their best field position of the game near the 30. This is going to back them up.
That's a shame. That's going to take the wind right out of their sails after they had that great run. But now they're back stuck deep in their own territory once again, and they've had trouble getting out of this position so far in this game.
Yeah, after that return by Stump, looks like he's going to get a little, came off for a moment. Now he's back in the offensive huddle. Under 2 minutes to go, first quarter. Matt Flores alongside Andrew Lockard here on PlayOnSports.com. Saturday afternoon football here to kick off the high school weekend of football in San Diego County. And now we're going to get a timeout on the field, and it's going to be the Eagles who call timeout. And they'll try to get things straightened out.
And PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football action, but it's also the place for the most comprehensive coverage of high school playoff and championship events in all sports from across the country. PlayOnSports.com, high school sports lives here. I suppose we also bring you Saturday day games in addition to Friday night football.
Yeah, pay attention, check your listings, always changing, always adding games as we try to bring the most high school sports your way all year long. I mean, rumors of not only the big sports like football and basketball, but I've heard of golf and wrestling possibly being included in the schedule this season, so make sure to stay tuned. After the backup and now the timeout, it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line. So for Tri-City Christian, this is going to be the third consecutive possession starting inside their own 20.
If you're Tri-City, you're hoping just to get past that hump, get that initial drive down the field, pick up some yardage, and hopefully put up some scores on the board. Right now, they're 3 scores down early in only the first quarter.
Full house backfield. They give it straight away to the tailback, Wolf. And he gets to just outside the 20, a pickup of 2. Different formation there for the Eagles as they filled the backfield with running backs.
Yeah, and it seems like the offensive game early on, it was just being read really, really well by the Tories. So I think they're just calling some changes here, seeing what else they got in that playbook.
Be interesting to see if they try to get Hensley into maybe some option opportunities again. Fill in the backfield with 3 running backs, 2 fullbacks, Wolf the tailback. They give it straight ahead to Wolf. He tries the right side, gets forward for a couple. A little bit more space now for the Eagles going forward, and it'll be 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, it looks like the new formations are opening a little bit more space in the middle. We haven't seen them go to that outside run yet, but definitely right down the pipe. They're picking up a couple short gains, and one more of those, and they'll be looking at 1st down.
This will be key. Tri-City's in desperate need of just, get a 1st down, get some confidence, and I give the defense a break here. 3rd down and 4, again, full house backfield as Berger now the tailback. fake it inside, pitch it to Berger, and he's going to be dropped in the backfield, back at the 20-yard line as the Tories sniff that one out.
Yeah, and it looks like that outside run still hasn't panned out. It's being really well read on the outside by the Tories, and we saw that again right there. Looks like this new game plan did not pan out for Tri-City like they were hoping.
La Jolla Country Day just looks so disciplined on the outside. Nobody is able to break the containment of the defensive ends or the linebackers. They've just done such a great job of that in the first quarter as the final seconds ticking down here in the first. We'll see if they get the snap off. About 5 seconds to go. They do. Now the fake. They throw it to Wolf out of the backfield on a near side screen to the 25, 30, stumbles forward and picks up the first down. What a gutsy call by the Eagles on 4th and long in their own end with the final ticks running off the first quarter, already down 20-0. They run a fake punt.
I didn't see that one coming. Unfortunately, it looks like Wolf got hit pretty hard along the sidelines there. He went to the ground a little funny, and he's still there right now. Fortunately, he was right in front of the coaching staff right there, so they're attending to him at the moment.
Credit Geese with the pass completion on that one. I mean,
that one definitely caught the Tories off guard. I didn't see it coming. I don't think the Tories saw it coming, and because of that, they were just all out of position.
Yeah, and you know, good blocking as well on the near side, but like you said, it caught not only the Tories off guard, but us as well here in the booth.
Definitely caught the broadcasting unit off guard.
But give Coach Rick Brown some credit for having the confidence in his punt team to execute there.
Especially with the clock running like that. That's a very gutsy play call.
Well, and you know, you're already down 20-0. That could have been disastrous. You don't get it, and the Tories again would have had an extremely short field with the chance to tack on another score. So at the end of the first quarter, La Jolla Country Day Tories on top of the Tri-City Christian Eagles, 20-0 as we run into the second quarter of play.
And Wolf is up now too as well, and looks like he's moving around okay. So thankfully he is back up and at it.
Well, when we talked to Coach Brown, he talked about belief in his team, and right there he showed it. He has stood behind his word, and so now we'll see if the Eagles can keep the momentum of that big 4th down conversion. Again, they'll go with the full house backfield, 2 fullbacks in front of Berger. They're going to give it straight ahead. Giese pounds his way to the 35, a pickup of about 3, we'll call it 2. He's just short of the 35-yard line.
Looks like that's where they're having their success, is running the ball straight up the middle, looking for a hole to run through. We'll see if they continue to go to that play. We haven't seen a pass attempt in quite a while from the Eagles, so they still have that card up their sleeve.
It looks like the mantra here is maybe slow it down, pick up some first downs, gain some momentum. You're not completely out of the game yet, and if you can get down and get a score and keep this thing close here in the second quarter, maybe you got a chance in the second half. 2nd down and 8. Showing blitz up the middle with Patoa. They give it straight ahead to Giese. He dives forward, another pickup of 3. So not a lot of space, just a little, grinding it out right now.
But if they can keep adding up, you know, those 3-4 yard runs, that'll inch you towards a first down. So we'll see if they continue to hit those plays up the middle.
3rd down and 5 for the Eagles. Berger, the tailback. Giese in front of him. And Hensley under center. Looks over the defense. Everybody creeping at the line of scrimmage for the Tories. They fake it. Hensley running the option. Keeps it. Spins inside of a man. Can't get away. And coming away with the tackle was Mikowski.
Well, now they're stuck once again in their own territory. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. Don't think you can get away with that fake twice in a row. But it looks like that scoring drive again unsuccessful for Tri-City.
Unable to ride the momentum of the big 4th down fake punt, and now Giese will punt it for the Eagles. Burmeister standing at his own 26-yard line. And it looks like the Eagles short a player. Running on late is Reitmeyer. And he gets up there near side tight on the line. Now Giese takes a snap, gets it away. Punt is up to the far side, takes a bounce at the 30, and then skips out of bounds at about the 24-yard line. That one worked out much better than the last time they punted to Burmeister, as he wasn't able to return that one.
Well, not a bad punt there. It's going to pin them back little shy of their 30-yard line in their own territory. Looks actually it'll be at the 25. But now they have not bad field position in their own zone, and we'll see. Their offense has been just about unstoppable. Tri-City has not been able to come up with a lot of answers for their offense, and I think that's that senior leadership, that experience coming through, that their offense experience, they know what they're doing, and then without the lack of time they've had to prepare for this game, I think that's shining through right now for La Jolla Country Day.
Wildcat formation. Burmeister takes it on the near side sweep. Cuts in through to the 40. Midfield, he's going to be gone. Sage Burmeister is going to walk into the end zone as a 75-yard touchdown run. His second score of the game as the Tories now with a 26-0 lead.
And Burmeister sure has a lot of gas left in the tank. You could see his speed out there. He just took off. There was no chance a Tri-City player was going to catch up with him on that play once he broke past midfield. And he took plenty of time getting to the end zone, but just an incredible display of speed to break away from those defending players.
Second long touchdown run for Burmeister. That one was 76 yards. He's got the 44-yard punt return, and he also had a short run earlier in the game, so 3 of the 4 touchdowns accounted for by him. It's now 26-0 as Wallace on for the extra point. Snaps down, almost blocked, but Wallace gets it up, drills it right through the center of the uprights as it bounces off of the snack shack behind the uprights, and it's 27-0 La Jolla Country Day.
And again, a great offensive display from the Tories. And I can't say enough good things about Burmeister right now. He is just a dangerous, dangerous weapon for the Tories, especially if he has open field like that. He's got a whole lot of fleet speed.
That Wildcat formation sure does suit him well. I mean, he's been in for 2 snaps in that, and he's got 2 touchdowns. 9:31 to go in the first half. Matt Flores alongside Andrew Lockhart here on PlayOnSports.com. La Jolla Country Day out to a 27-0 lead in the first half over Tri-City Christian.
And be sure to stay tuned for the PlayOnSports.com post-game show, where we will select our player of the game as well as wrap up all of the action from this ball game. That'll be coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. But plenty of game left to be had in this game, Matt. Still looking at halftime, about 9.5 minutes away. But La Jolla Country Day just making a strong offensive showing early in this game.
Yeah, and that's really what it's come down to. Not only offense, but special teams have been outstanding. Tri-City Christians has got to try to get some offense going, try to keep the defense off the field for a little while and try to figure some things out here against that Tory defense.
And like I was mentioning, fatigue is, I think, going to be a factor in this game, as we do have the sun beating down on these players, and they're going to slow down, I think, going on later in the game. So we'll see how much gas they have left in the tank in the second half.
Stump and Berger deep for the Eagles. This one's going to come near side around the 20 and actually bounce out of bounds. That'll be a flag, and Tri-City Christians will end up with their best field position of the game after this penalty is enforced.
It's going to be harder and harder to get those long kicks. The wind is starting to really pick up here, and I think that's going to put that much more resistance on any sort of kick when the ball's flying through the air.
And ball will come out to the 35, I believe, once that penalty is enforced, and it is. And they'll decide where they want it. It's not going to be on the near hash. It'll be right in the middle. So both sides, wide sides of the field to play with for the Eagles. Hensley under center, 4 receivers, 2 to either side. Hensley with the hard count. Now they're going to send a man in motion. We got movement, and we got a flag. It will be a false start against the Eagles.
And we've seen a couple of those plays cost them their field positioning. It seems like, especially when they're in their most favorable field position, is when they get those false starts. And that's just, it's not the kind of execution, I'm sure, that the Eagles are looking for.
Man in motion, Wolf from the far side. They're going to give it to him on an inside handoff. Makes one man miss and then dragged down from behind after a pickup of 7. He gets out past the original line of scrimmage, and it'll make it 2nd down and 8.
Another solid run from Wolf, and it looks like once again they're driving that ball right up the middle of the field, right through the defensive line. But it seems to be working for him, and it's going to be those short gains, a pretty big gain on that play, but it seems like historically they're getting those short 3-4 yard gains. But we'll see if La Jolla Country Day can come up with an answer for those plays.
Hensley sends Berger in motion from the near side. Fake it. No, they're going to give it to him around the left side. Tries to get outside. Spun down right at the line of scrimmage and then flung forward for a gain of 2. But again, the defensive line of La Jolla Country Day just right there and just stern. I mean, they're not giving up any space, really.
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job preventing those big gains. It seems like the outside of the field for the running game is off limits. The passing game has not passed out. Hensley has not been able to find a man. So it's been really stifling. It's been limiting for the kind of options that the Eagles have.
Hensley to pass, looking across the middle, thrown high and picked off by Edwards again at midfield and then tackled at the 43-yard line. Will Edwards' is second INT of the first half for the Tories.
And we've seen that over and over again. It seems like Hensley's having trouble finding his man when he's going for the passing game. And also just the defensive backs for La Jolla Country Day are doing a great job putting the coverage on and putting themselves in a position to vie for any sort of pass that Hensley managed to get off.
Another thing, it's a different dynamic when you have a small roster and a lot of players going both ways, is they don't get to come off and talk to the coach and figure out what they did wrong and make corrections. A lot of them have to stay on the field and play. So 1st and 10 for the Tories as they take over again inside Tri-City Christian territory at the 43. Play action, Prosser to throw, out of the backfield, complete to Mikowski, and he's tackled by Berger at the 41. A good open field tackle that time by Berger.
Prosser did an excellent job getting that pass off with a lot of pressure applied. It seemed like he was almost going down. It looks like he was almost being tackled as he got that throw off, but he manages to turn a broken play into a couple of yards.
Yeah, not sure if Garcia has a minor nick or something on the sideline, but Prosser is now under center. And in the last series, Burmeister was in the Wildcat, so 2 consecutive possessions we haven't seen Garcia. Prosser, 3 receivers near side, 2 to the far side. Quick pass in the flats and complete behind the line of scrimmage to Shefflow, and he's dropped immediately.
Shefflow looks like he was bobbling the ball for a little bit after he got his hands on it, and I think he might have been a little bit off balance as he was receiving that ball. I think that's why he was brought down so easily, not able to pick up any yards.
John Luke Rinke getting there in on that tackle. 3rd and long, make it 8 for the Tories. Again, Prosser. Spread formations, 3 receivers to the far side, 2 to the near side. Prosser back to pass. Looking across the middle. Has Mikowski caught at the first down marker and then goes down, and it should be enough for a first down.
Mikowski, great job to sort of maintain his position after he caught that ball there. He could have easily gone backwards a yard or 2. But an excellent reception from him. Just hold on to that ball and maintain his footing.
Prosser looking pretty confident back there at quarterback. This is his first series of the game, and he's completed a couple nice passes. It's going to be 1st and 10 at the Eagle 33. 6:35 and counting in the first half, 27-0. La Jolla Country Day all over Tri-City Christian early. Prosser surveys the defense. McMahon in the backfield with him. Hard count and movement along the line, and this one probably is going to go against the defense.
Yeah, I saw 2 players on the Eagles get the jump on that one. I believe that was Andrew Reitmeyer and Zach Hensley on Tri-City.
And give credit to that offensive line for La Jolla Country. Out of the shotgun, they did the hard count. Still got Tri-City Christians to jump. Prosser. All kinds of pressures. They're going to run a screen middle of the field. Mikowski picks up a block in the middle of the 20. Stiff arms one man and finally twisted down inside the 10 around the 7. However, a flag way back at the 28, and we'll wait on the penalty.
I didn't see anything jump out as a penalty. I know Mikowski, he made some contact with the ball. I don't think that would draw any sort of penalty, though. An excellent run by him. He did stiff arm somebody.
The only thing I could possibly think is an illegal block downfield, but now they're waving off. Maybe it was the block after the catch, and you know the referee didn't quite see the catch yet. Either way, no penalty. Big gains. Mikowski was a beast going down the middle of the field right there. down to the 6, 1st and goal for the Tories.
And it's interesting that they're riding Jimmy Prosser like this, having him, stretch his arm quite a bit for just coming in cold off the bench like that. But he's doing an excellent job stepping up when it needs to be done.
Burnmeister in the slot, near side of the field, right around the hash mark. Prosser under center this time. Takes the snap, gives it straight ahead to McMahon. He gets through a couple arm tackles, spins inside to about the 2 or 3 yard line. We'll say the 3. Or about the 2.5, and they'll move the marker closer. 2nd and goal.
Ostensibly, Matt, just looking at the players out on the field, I see a bit of a size advantage for La Jolla Country Day, and I think that's coming into play with these guys that are making these driving, running plays. They're really able to put a lot of muscle and force and push forward and pick up an extra yard or 2 here or there against Tri-City.
2nd and goal. Pitch to McMahon near side, cuts inside of one man, then breaks towards the outside, loses the ball right near the goal line. No fumble, player was down, and they're going to say just short of the end zone at about the half-yard line.
That was pretty close. I almost want to say that he did cross the plane, but they are going to wave it down dead at the 1, no fumble. It's now an opportunity for La Jolla Country Day to put up another score coming into the half.
And with you, it was really close. Definitely the ball caused the fumble as he kind of leaned forward, but it looked like he was really close to breaking that plane. Official right on top of it says he didn't. 3rd and goal. McMahon, the tailback, behind Prosser. Movement along the right side. Prosser dives across behind his center, gets into the end zone for a touchdown, and it's now 33-0. La Jolla Country Day, again, like you said, Andrew, looks like on that offensive line they're really starting to pave the way for the Tories.
Yeah, and it looks like Tri-City, they're just not coming up with any answers defensively for the kind of plays that La Jolla Country Day is putting on. And I'm wondering what happened to Garcia. I don't think I saw anything that looked like an injury. I don't know if perhaps La Jolla Country Day coaching staff just wanted to give a look at Prosser at this point in the game. But either way, Prosser is paying off in spades for the Tories right now.
Marched him right downfield as the extra point try is good for Wallace.
Oh, that's into the snack stand. They roofed it.
And so Wallace now 4 for 5, although the one that he missed, the PAT, was the 35-yarder due to the personal foul penalty. Needless to say, it's still 34-0, and La Jolla Country Day firmly in control of the game here in the first half.
Wallace victimizing the snack stand. And do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups like the game you're enjoying here today? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all of their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to playonsports.com/SBP, the school broadcast program at playonsports.com.
Onshore coastal breeze picking up here in the afternoon here in Solana Beach on the site of Santa Fe Christian High School. La Jolla Country Day all over Tri-City Christian here in the first half. 4:27 to go. Matt Flores alongside Andrew Lockard here on playonsports.com. Back deep to return will be Berger and Stump once again, and Wallace to kick it away. Yeah, not sure if, Garcia's on the far side for La Jolla Country Day with helmet on. Doesn't seem to be an injury, so maybe you're right. They were just giving Prosser a look here on that last drive for the Tories. Meanwhile, Tri-City Christian will start as it's kicked to the 25, picked up by an up man and tackled at the 31 as John Luke Ranke gets out to the 31-yard line. Decent field position for the Eagles. Crowd trying to rally behind the offense and get some confidence and give them a boost right here.
That was Chris B with the tackle. Really a hard hit applied on that play. But now we see Tri-City checking into their office right around the 30-yard line, somewhere between the 20 and 30-yard lines where they had the lion's share of their plays this game. But hopefully they can put up a score here if they can get just one good drive, one good playoff. Maybe they can put a dent in that Tory lead coming into halftime.
Hensley gives it straight ahead to the fullback, going forward, picking up a couple is Giese.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Matt.
No, I was going to say a gain of 2 out to the 33.
Yeah, and again, we just see that drive straight up the gut in the middle of the field.
And you're almost tempted to say at this point, what else you got? Because it seems like that play is picking up short yards, but if they're only picking up 2-3 yards every play, if they get stopped doing that once, they're going to just have to punt it away in that sequence.
Unbalanced line to the far side of the field. And again, full house backfield. Hensley's going to keep, no, gives it straight ahead to Giese, moving his legs, keeping him churning, gets out to the 39, and it'll be 3rd down and 2.
Well, that was a good run by Giese. It looks like he's still down on the field. He got a couple men on top of him. Just get back up. He's okay. We see Hensley walk back onto the field here. We haven't seen him be strong with his passing game. It looks like he's just had trouble finding his receivers. He's thrown a couple picks. So we'll see what kind of play calling offensively that Tri-City's going to come up with going forward in this game.
Unbalanced line, far side of the field again. Patua showing blitz. They give it to Giese, pounds his way, lowers his shoulder, gets close to a 1st down, and it'll come down to the mark. It might even be close enough for a measurement.
Less than 3 minutes here, so it's going to be an interesting call for the Tri-City coaching staff.
And they sure would like to, drive it down here in the final minutes, get a score on the board, at least to get some confidence and momentum. And like I said, they are actually going to, no, actually they're not going to measure. They're going to say, go ahead and move the chains. 1st down, Eagles.
Oh, interesting.
1st and 10 at their own 41. Tri-City Christian picks up a 1st down. Going with that tight formation, unbalanced line this time to the near side of the field. Full house backfield. Hensley straight ahead to Wolf. Wolf met in the backfield, dropped for a loss. Patua getting in there and making the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
And I know Tri-City, the Eagles really just want to get past midfield here, get into La Jolla Country Day territory, and hope for the best. But I don't think they've even penetrated in past midfield at this point. Matt, do you recall them doing that?
They have not, Andrew. A lot of it has to do with Patua. He's been all over the place from that middle linebacker spot. Hard to miss with the long hair coming out the back of the helmet when he flies in and makes a play. 2nd down and 11. Unbalanced line to the far side. Fake to Giese. Hensley keeps and nailed from behind. Coming on strong to make the play was Josh Church.
Running out of real estate up the middle. I think that La Jolla Country Day is starting to figure out those plays, so it's going to be really hard for the Eagles to find penetration up the middle going forward.
Tried to change it up with that tight formation, and now La Jolla Country Day's adjusted to it and seems to be clamping down on that. Under 1:20 to go in the 1st half. 3rd and 10 for Tri-City Christian at their own 41-yard line. Unable to get into La Jolla Country Day territory so far in the 1st half. Again, double tights. They'll motion to the near side. Unbalanced line. Full house backfield. Wolf the tailback. Fake. Now Hensley to pass the near side. Rolling out. Looking deep down the near sideline. And looking for the pass was Winkleman. And great coverage on the play. The pass wasn't quite bad, actually. And unfortunately for La Jolla Country Day, flag back at the 33-yard line. Roughing the passer against the Tories. Personal foul is going to be marked off, and this is going to be the first time Tri-City Christian is going to be inside of La Jolla Country Day territory, albeit with a little help from the men in black and white.
Well, hey, that's a good break for the Eagles, finally into La Jolla Country Day territory. I saw excellent pass coverage, though, from Sage Burmeister. You're right that the pass was not far off, but the coverage was just excellent on the Tory side.
Under a minute to go, just barely after that penalty is marked off. The ball at the La Jolla Country Day 44-yard line. La Jolla Country Day trying to put something on the board before we go to half. 34-0, Tories on top of the Eagles. Shotgun formation. Oh, actually, no. I thought Giese was in the gun. Actually, Hensley's up to center already, and now they're a man short on the offensive line. They only had 4 linemen on the play, and so Hensley will have to burn a timeout as there was some confusion. And so everybody will take a timeout with about a minute to go. 34-0, La Jolla Country Day on top of Tri-City Christian.
PlayOn Sports is on Facebook and Twitter, giving you news and information and links to great highlights. Follow us at PlayOn Sports on both Facebook and Twitter. You can also access thousands of live and on-demand games at YouTube at youtube.com/PlayOnNetwork. Keep up with all the high school action every week from your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com. And it looks like we have a little less than a minute left on the clock, Matt. I think in this situation, Tri-City, they're going to keep going for a passing game. The way their running game's been going, they haven't been able to get many big yardage plays. So with a minute left, they got a lot of field left to traverse here. I think we're going to see a little bit more Tri-City's passing game.
I believe 1 timeout left for the Eagles. 4 receivers, 2 to either side for Hensley. Everybody creeping at the line for the Eagles. Back to pass, Hensley. It's going to be a little screen pass to Giese out of the backfield. Gets it out to the 40, inside the 40 to the 37. Flag on the play at the 45. It was behind the line. Probably some type of an illegal block is what it looked like to me.
You know, I think it might have actually been against Patoa. I saw him streaking in, and when Giese was going past him, he was already pushed down on the ground. I think there might have been the hold somewhere around him.
I'm in agreement with you, Andrew. I think I saw the same exact thing, and if we both saw it from up here, the officials weren't going to miss that on the field. First and 10, but now we'll mark it off. We'll see what's going to be from the spot of the foul or from the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be from the spot of the foul, so it'll be marked back all the way to the 45, and it'll be first down and 21 for the Eagles. So they were in La Jolla Country Day territory for all of 1 play that didn't even count. Come on, Eagles, let's see if we can get it across again. First and 21. Shotgun for Hensley. Back to pass. Bobbles the snap. Now he's got to step up. Pressure gets to him, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage before he is drilled by McMahon.
McMahon, one of the leaders on this team. He is a senior, and he really applied the pressure there and did a good job leveling the quarterback of Tri-City.
With under 30 seconds to go and the quarterback being tackled, Tri-City's really only had to call a timeout right there to stop the clock and regroup to even get 1 play off here. And your playbook's a little thin when you're looking at second down and 21 with 30 seconds to go here.
Again, though, I think we're going to see another passing play. Those haven't panned out so far for Tri-City, but I think they don't really have a lot of other options at this point. You're right, Matt.
Eagles break the huddle on the near side with Coach Brown. They'll get back out. Ball spotted right in the middle of the field at the 45-yard line. We'll see if La Jolla Country Day loosens up a little bit. Their front 7 has been tight to the line of scrimmage nearly the entire game, and they still are right here. Hensley back to pass. Pressure up the middle. Has to try to get away and can't quite do it as Mikowski wraps him up behind the line for a sack.
Mikulski, I believe that's his 2nd sack of the game. La Jolla Country Day has done an excellent job putting the pressure on Hensley. He just doesn't have a whole lot of opportunities to even make the pass down the field.
Hensley just gets the snap up with 5 seconds left. They run a draw to Giese, tackled behind the line. Actually tackled after a gain of about 3, but that's going to do it for the first half as La Jolla Country Day puts a wrap right there and puts a wrap on a perfect first half for them as they're going to go into halftime on top of Tri-City Christian 34-0. Matt Flores alongside Andrew Locker. We're going to step away here at halftime, but stay tuned for plenty of action coming your way. La Jolla Country Day 34, Tri-City Christian 0.
As a reminder, the snack bar.
Welcome back to PlayOnSports.com. Saturday afternoon coverage of high school football here in the San Diego section. Matt Flores alongside Andrew Lockard from Santa Fe Christian High School. We're at the half as La Jolla Country Day all over Tri-City Christian here, 34-0. And Andrew, it seemed like Tri-City Christian got off to a bad start, and then it just unraveled from there as La Jolla Country Day just poured it on there in that first half.
Their offense was a bit lackluster. We saw a passing game that was almost non-existent. Whenever they did get the ball up in the air, it a couple times went for picks. Seems like they just had trouble finding their footing. Their running game, they could only pick up 3-4 yard games, if that, and it was just not working out for them on any level. A couple points I'd like to make, though, is that coaching you were talking about is that offensively, if you make a mistake, there's not a whole lot of coaching that can be done between plays because you're also going to be switching out there defensively. So it seems like whatever adjustment that Tri-City is going to make, it's going to have to come here at halftime. So hopefully they can get some coaching interjected there in the half and come out with a more solid second half.
And one thing I can think of off the top of my head is it seemed like in the beginning, Tri-City Christian had, a certain formation and a certain set of plays they were working with. They adjusted midway through and they switched to something entirely different. There's got to be some type of mix. You can't go from one to completely the other. You can't go from, a spread it out a little bit to a full house backfield, no wide receivers. It seems like there's got to be some type of mix if they want to keep La Jolla Country Day on their toes.
Yeah, and it seems like when they were running, they would just run, the outside run. It seemed like that didn't work. They tried the inside run. That didn't work. I think their most successful play was when they caught La Jolla Country Day off guard and went with that fake punt. And I think that was their most successful play of any drive. So maybe we're going to look for a little bit more deception, a little more off-the-cuff sort of trickery or shenanigans coming in the second half, but they're going to have to come up with something different because what they were doing in the first half of the game was just not working out.
They also had 2 interceptions, both by safety Will Edwards. Meanwhile, for La Jolla Country Day, everything went right. Special teams was great. Defense put them in great position, especially early on, shortening that field. And the offense, they didn't miss a beat.
And you know who stood out for me in that offense? Everybody was playing well, but Sage Burmeister especially was just having an excellent offensive game. We saw his skills on display there, both offensively, and we saw him a little bit defensively, too, making some plays. But he's just been stellar. His speed is really shining out there.
So not only, but also, don't forget, he had the 44-yard punt return.
Absolutely.
So Burmeister shining on all 3 phases of the game for the Tories. And at the half, La Jolla Country Day on top of Tri-City Christian 34-0. We're going to break away here at half, come back with all the second half action in a few minutes. You're listening to PlayOnSports.com. Welcome back from halftime. Matt Flores alongside Andrew Lockard from Santa Fe Christian High School in Solana Beach as we get set for the second half of play. Tri-City Christian will be kicking off to La Jolla Country Day down 34-0 as the Tories dominated the first half. And we'll see if the Eagles were able to make some halftime adjustments and get back in this one. To kick it away, Giese. It's going to be end over end down the middle. Burmeister, no, actually it's going to be fielded by the up man to the 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. And he finally brought him down at the 37-yard line. Darian Brown on the return.
And that was not a bad kick. The spiral on that was really hard to catch. Landed about 5-yard line or so. But an excellent job. And now La Jolla Country Day is going to get their start right around the 30, let's call that the 7-yard line, 37-yard line.
37-yard line for the Tories, and Garcia back at quarterback for La Jolla Country Day as Prosser relieved him for the last series of the half. Burmeister in motion, the fake. Garcia keeps it up the middle and finally wrapped up at the 39 after a gain of 2, pretty much all by Garcia slipping out of a tackle.
And that was an interesting move to put Prosser in like that. We're still not sure the motivation behind that maneuver. But either way, Prosser really flashed an excellent arm. Picked up a whole lot of passing yardage for his stint as quarterback for the Tories.
Garcia with 2 receivers to the far side. That's going to be Burmeister in motion. Takes it on a near side sweep. Gets around one guy and then levels the corner. And tackled at the 45, going to be about 2 yards short of the first down.
And Burmeister has been all sorts of wonderful for his team today, and we see an example of that right there. He has so much speed, and he's got the power behind it, too, to just out-muscle some of the Tri-City defenders.
Jean-Luc Reinke with the tackle, but it was more like just absorbing the blow from Burmeister as he didn't have much of a chance. He kind of turned around, and Burmeister was bearing down on him. 3rd and 2. Offset I formation for Garcia under center. He's going to roll to the far side of the field, throws out of the back, looking downfield, falls incomplete, intended for Edwards. And the Eagles have held on the first 3 plays. We'll see if the Tories go for it here on 4th and 2. Offense has not left the field, so it looks like they will. 10:38 to go here, 3rd quarter, as Garcia jogs back into the huddle with the play as they make one last substitution. Patoa goes out and Shefflow in.
Well, that's a show of confidence from the offense. Go for it on 4th down, about midway on the field. Although if this is unsuccessful, it would put the Eagles at one of their best field positions so far in this game.
Garcia drops back, looking, throws underneath, and almost intercepted by the lineman, but batted down as big number 76, Caleb Morrow, there to make the play, and the Eagles get a stand on the first possession here of the second half and will have their best field position by far of the game for the offense.
And great pressure applied by Cayman Pro to break through the defensive line and put a lot of pressure on Garcia. So Garcia forced to almost make the bad throw there, but it works out for Tri-City, and now they're still out on the field, and this time they're going to be on the offensive side of the ball.
1st and 10, back to the spread formation, 4 receivers, 2 to either side of Hensley. Hensley runs a draw to Giese, and he's buried. Patoa come flying from the middle linebacker spot, making the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
And Giese's one of their bigger players. It looks like a strong guy out there, just able to muscle up the middle. Although, again, we're seeing plays that we saw in the last half that really didn't prove to be too successful for the Eagles.
Patoa just showing a nose for the ball, making that play. And it's like you said, Giese, a big guy, just had nowhere to go. 2nd and 11. Slot to the near side, Berger. Anderson slot from the far side, Wolf in motion, fake the pitch to him. Hensley back to pass, throwing over the middle, batted down at the line. He had Reinke coming open across the middle, but batted down and falls incomplete.
That was Marco Scavuzzo, Scavuzzo, 6'7", 255. He's a pretty big barrier to throw that ball around, especially if you look at the height of Hensley. He's only 5'11". So it's hard to throw over a guy like that.
3rd and 11. The Eagles going nowhere so far. Back to pass. Hensley throwing near side. Caught by Reinke. near the 40, pushed out at the 41. It'll be about a 5-yard pickup. Brings up 4th down, no question about it. This is 4-down territory for the Eagles, though.
And like I was mentioning, the La Jolla Country Day defense, they're really using that size advantage to their strategical advantage, as well as they're using that size to really block a lot of the passes. We've seen that throughout this game. They're making it hard on Hensley to get that ball up in the air.
Wolf in the slot on the far side, send him in motion across, fake the pitch to him. Hensley back to pass, looking over the middle, throwing deep to Giese, and he can't track it down. He was coming wide open down the near side on a wheel route, and unfortunately falls incomplete, and the Eagles turn it over.
You know, I think he stepped out of bounds as well. I'm not sure the high school ruling on that, or if that would have been a factor.
Nonetheless, an opportunity, as he did have some space down that near side. In fact, nobody out in front of him. But Hensley couldn't connect. Turns the ball over back to La Jolla Country Day, and they'll take over at their own 41-yard line. 1st and 10 and a 34-0 lead with 9:41 to go in the 3rd. Breeze picks up again here in Solana Beach. And Garcia runs the option near side, keeps it, gets forward for about 3 to the 44-yard line.
Well, another opportunity for the Tri-City defense. It looks like they've done an all right job stopping Garcia when he's taken the ball out himself. But we'll see what kind of tricks La Jolla Country Day still has up their sleeve, as they've been on offense quite a bit of this game. Looks like Tri-City's probably seen a lot of the plays that they're going to see going forward. Going to be some interesting play calling for La Jolla Country Day.
Looks like a pistol formation as Garcia on a short shotgun. Now he can take a snap, and this one's going to be blown dead before it gets underway. No flag on the yet, though, so not sure what the whistles are about.
Players look confused as well.
Now the flags come out, and it's going to be an illegal participation penalty. Too many players on the field for La Jolla Country Day.
I suppose along with that, throwing new plays out on the field is running the risk, if you go a little deeper in your playbook, of mucking it up.
And actually, that's one of the things that Coach Hutzler was worried about. We talked to him before the game. He said substitution and alignment, because a lot of our players go both ways, and guys coming in and out, sometimes it's, especially the first game of the season, sometimes the players lose track. So we see a penalty already for them. Under 9 minutes to go in the 3rd. 2nd down and 12 for the Tories. Again, with that pistol formation, which is a short shotgun. Garcia takes the snap. He's going to run the option far side of the field. Makes one man miss. Gets going forward. Lowers his shoulder and gets out to the 47-yard line. Good pickup for Garcia.
I'd say so. Strong pickup of yardage. And it looks like they're going to end up just shy of midfield. So again, La Jolla Country Day, the offense doesn't stop rolling.
3rd and 3, and a player wide open on their side, and John Lugranke finally gets out there. They run the option, forcing a quick pitch from Garcia. Gets it to McMahon, and he had some space on the far side. Gets forward for the 1st, lowers his shoulder for a couple more, and knocked out of bounds at the 46.
Yeah, just a little bit of room on the outside, but again, their players are just muscling forward. It seems like the Tri-City players are just having a hard time containing them. They're coming at them with so much force.
That time, La Jolla Country Day got set really fast, and the Eagles just weren't quite ready defensively. 1st and 10 at the Eagle 46-yard line. Torres now with 3 receivers to the near side. Garcia out of the gun, takes a snap. Looking down the middle of the field to the far sideline. Looking down the sideline, off the hands and incomplete. He had Yossi Stein wide open. Actually, not wide open, but he hit him right on the money, and the pass falls incomplete.
Yeah, almost a perfect pass there. Maybe up about a foot or so higher than it should have been. But excellent pass by Garcia and almost picked up by Stein. And that would have put them sitting pretty early on in the 2nd half.
8:01 to go as the clock stops on the incompletion. 2nd and 10. As Garcia now runs out near side as the wideout. It's going to be Burmeister out of the Wildcat. Runs for a sweep to the near side. Flags come flying in. Burmeister dropped after a gain of maybe 1. And we'll check the penalty. It's going to be a hold against La Jolla Country Day, as the referee's taking no time to deliberate there. They'll back him up 10 yards.
Yeah, but these penalties, these mistakes at this point in the game, I don't think they're really going to cost La Jolla Country Day too much. Their score is pretty solid at this point, and we haven't seen Tri-City counter with very much offensively. But if the mistakes keep coming, they will add up, and that could end up costing the Tories in the long run.
10 yards from the spot of the infraction, back to the 43-yard line of the Tories, bringing up a 2nd down and 21. Again, Garcia is going to line up as the near side wideout, and Burmeister will be out of the Wildcat formation as the quarterback. Takes the snap, rolling to his right, looking downfield. Pressure comes, he's buried in the backfield, gets it away, and it's caught at the 34-30. Inside the 10 to the 5, touchdown La Jolla Country Day. Josh Church on the reception. Credit Burmeister with the throw as he stepped up and got plowed in the backfield.
And you know, there's a flag on the field. I'm not sure if that was dropped intentionally. They are actually discussing it, so I think they're to determine whether or not that was actually a call.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the flag's even at.
It was, the coach picked it up. It was back right around the 30-yard line, so it wouldn't have been behind the line of scrimmage. It was ahead.
They're going to wave off the flag, and it's going to be a touchdown, looks like, as referee picks up the flag, and they haven't signaled for any penalty, so it's 40-0. La Jolla Country Day in control, and Wallace on for the PAT. And that was definitely an odd end to a tremendous pass play.
Absolutely, and we're seeing Burmeister contribute to his team offensively in so many ways.
The extra point is good, and that makes it 41-0. As you said, Burmeister contributing in every way possible right now. A special teams punt return for a touchdown, 2 touchdown runs, and now a touchdown pass. He's been involved in 4 of the touchdowns for La Jolla Country Day.
He's being a real renaissance man for his team out there, and vying for a strong candidate to be our PlayOn Sports player of the game.
That coming your way. We'll attempt to get the player of the game for an interview at the completion of this afternoon's game. Well underway here in the second half. Matt Flores alongside Andrew Lockhart on PlayOnSports.com. Beautiful sunny day here in the San Diego area, Solana Beach, just north of San Diego City.
Now the wind is starting to quiet a little bit here as well, Matt. That will affect the game in a couple ways, but also it's going to make it a little bit hotter. The wind was really cooling off the temperature here, but if that dies down, it's going to start to really pick up temperature-wise.
7.5 to go in the third. La Jolla Country Day will be kicking it away. Ball teed up at the 40 for Wallace. Stump and Berger back deep to return for the Eagles. Tri-City Christian off of last season's 9-3 campaign. Not getting off to the way they wanted to start here in 2012. Squib kick down the middle of the field. Touched, bobbled by the Eagles, and finally picked up by Reitmeyer. And Reitmeyer tackled immediately at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, he had a hard time picking that one up, so he barely had time to make a play on it before he was brought down.
We didn't get a chance to talk about it a whole lot, but Tri-City Christians came back this year not only without their returning quarterback who decided to concentrate on golf, but also without injured Nathan Madrano, who's kind of a do-everything type of player for the Eagles. And he had an injury in the offseason. It's going to keep him out at least a couple more weeks here for the 2012 season. Full house, 3 running backs behind Hensley. Fake it to Giese, keeps it around the left side, dives forward for about 4 out near the 29-yard line.
Yeah, and we see Madrano on the sideline. Obviously, he is out. He's not. He's got his uniform on, but he's not dressed for football. He's got some sort of device on his left arm. I think I recall the coach saying it was a ligament tear of some sort, a strain. But anyway, nothing too serious, and he will be back this season, of course. But obviously a loss right now for Tri-City.
Given to Giese straight ahead, lowers his shoulder, keeps his legs moving, gets out past the first down marker, out to the 38-yard line, and a first down for the Eagles.
A good pickup for the Eagles, and now getting that first down, which has been somewhat elusive to them this game. Advancing almost to their own 40-yard line. But we'll see what kind of looks we're going to get from the offense of Tri-City, because like I've mentioned before, offense seems to have grown a little bit stale. See if they can come up with something new, something innovative here.
Tight formation, 2 tight ends, 3 running backs. Hensley bobbles the snap and then just falls on it at the 38-yard line, maybe about the 39-yard line, which was the line of scrimmage, but unfortunate. It's kind of just a busted play there, and they'll get nothing out of it.
That takes a little bit of the momentum away from that last play, which was one of the more successful runs that Tri-City's put up in this game.
Second down and 10. Hensley shuffles back in with the play call. 6 minutes to go in the third. La Jolla Country Day 41 and Tri-City Christian 0. 2 tight ends, 3 running backs, and Hensley under center. Long count, gives it straight ahead to Giese, wrapped up immediately by Patoa. Seems like whenever there's a play behind the line or at the line of scrimmage, Patoa is in the middle of it.
Really quick, I just want to mention La Jolla Country Day. Their schedule going forward next week, they're facing Vincent Memorial, Sierra Canyon the week after that. These are all home games, by the way. Southwest, Parker, Horizon, and they'll have a game at Santa Fe Christian, so they'll be back here again before rounding out with Bishops and one against Escondido Charter.
3rd and 8. Hensley gives it off the left side for a couple yards to Giese. And looking at the schedules actually for both teams, a kickoff here, and they have about a little over a month before they start their league play. So about 4 more games after this to kind of iron things out and get things rolling in their respective leagues. Tri-City Christian from the Pacific League. They were the 2010 and 2011 league champs. Meanwhile, La Jolla Country Day from the Coastal League, which is one of the more difficult leagues in Division 5. As a kick by Giese, punt is away. It's going to be Burmeister taking it at his own 18. Starts off to his right, now comes back to his left. Here comes the pursuit, and he's going to be harassed and dropped back at the 18-yard line.
Well, that's one of the first times we've seen Tri-City really contain Burmeister out there. There was a flag on the play thrown along the sideline. I'm not sure what they were calling, or we've seen a couple misplays with referees throwing flags here, but it looks like they're actually going to call something here.
Giese a little shaken up on the play as he comes to the sideline, kind of favoring his left leg. Look at a visit from the trainer. The penalty looks like it might go against La Jolla Country Day. And I didn't catch the what the infraction was. Actually, there it is. It's going to be a legal block. And it should be a half the distance, I believe, from the spot, which is around the from the line of scrimmage, which would be the 19. So it'll take them back inside the 10.
Coming up for Tri-City, they have a game against Borrego Springs. That'll be at home, whatever home is that week. Looks like Army and Navy. One at Escondido Charter. A home game against Saddleback Valley Christian, San Diego Jewish Academy the week after that. They'll be at Calvin Christian the next week, at Maranatha Christian, Rock Academy, and they'll round out with a game against Army and Navy. That one will be at home.
La Jolla Country Day, white uniforms today with blue helmets, and they'll start at their own 9. First down and 10. And again, Prosser in at quarterback, out of the gun. Looks to his right to throw, pumps. Now he's going to take off and run up the middle, finds a little bit of room and gets out to the 15-yard line, make it the 16.
Well, it looks like they're going to go with Prosser once again. Both quarterbacks, I'd say, equally capable. Prosser seems more inclined to be throwing the ball, although he makes a solid run on that last play.
Prosser, good-looking 6'4", 190-pound quarterback, junior, so he's got another year of eligibility remaining. Meanwhile, Garcia, who's the starter, is a senior. Under 4 minutes to go, Prosser takes a snap, looks right, throws immediately on a screen to Burmeister, and Burmeister is met immediately in the backfield as Hensley making the tackle.
Hensley just brickhoused him on that one. Nowhere to go.
And that's going to bring up third down. Great read by Hensley out on the corner. And it's going to make it about a second down, make it a third down and 7 to go for the Tories. We'll see if Tri-City Christian can stiffen up here and get another stop, as they were able to do on the first possession of the half. Prosser sends 3 receivers to the near side. Back to pass, looking near side, then switches back to the right, throwing deep, has a man open and just overshoots him, looking for Stein again. It's going to fall incomplete. And now you got to think that La Jolla Country Day is going to have to punt right here.
I don't see why they wouldn't, Matt. Really quick, though, I'm noticing that Giese, one of the better players offensively on Tri-City, is being worked on the sideline here. Looks like a leg issue, and that could put Tri-City in a worse position than they were already sitting if he is out for this game.
Well, he does so much, not only running the ball, but he also punts for them, and just an all-around team leader. So you hate to see them lose him, especially when you're already frustrated and down as they are right now. As La Jolla Country Day, having a late substitution, didn't have the right personnel in the field for the punt unit, finally get it out there. And it's going to be Stein to boot it away. Wolf standing at the 45-yard line of La Jolla Country Day to return. Short punt, not going to be fieldable as it takes a La Jolla Country Day bounce, a Tri-City Christian bounce, and covered by La Jolla Country Day at the 36-yard line. So excellent field position for the Eagles.
I was going to say, this is their best field position all game by my reckoning, so maybe they can do something with this and put up a score on the board.
3:05 to go, third quarter. Eagles by far the best starting position, and like you said, and chance to get on the board right here. You don't normally get a much shorter field than 36 yards.
And Giese is, however, still out on the sideline. We have a timeout taken.
And that might be why the Eagles didn't quite have the correct personnel on the field at the time, and they'll have to burn a timeout.
And PlayOnSports.com is not only your destination for Friday night football and Saturday day football, but it's also the place to see all the action for the most comprehensive coverage of high school sports playoff and championships events in all sports from across the whole country. PlayOnSports.com, high school sports lives here.
Your place for high school sports right here, PlayOnSports.com, not only on Friday nights, but also Saturday afternoons, as we got a tilt here, Division 5 action in the San Diego section. 2 quarterfinal teams from 2011 trying to get the year off to a good start, but it's been all La Jolla Country Day here. Third quarter, 3:05 to go. The Tories with a 41-0 lead on top of Tri-City Christian. And the Eagles, again, their best field position of the day. We'll see if they can't try to get this one in the end zone, starting at the Tories' 36-yard line. Full house, 2 tight end formation. Hensley under center. Fakes it to Giese. He's in the game to throw. Hensley downfield, has a man open, and picked off, coming over from safety and picking it off to the 30, 25, 40. Finally knocked out of bounds was Shefflow.
Tyler Shefflow, just an excellent pick. It looks like the passing play from the Eagles is thrown into areas where the coverage is obviously adequate, not only adequate, but they're picking the ball off. It's hard to say what Tri-City should be doing differently at this point. It looks like the passing game isn't working and the running game isn't really working at this juncture either.
Well, that one, it was kind of in no man's land, and credit Shefflow, made a tremendous catch.
Yep.
You know, reached out with one hand and kind of brought it in. So it wasn't right to him, but definitely made a great break on the ball, and probably an ill-advised throw for Hensley. And unfortunately, his third INT of the game. And so La Jolla Country Day gets the ball back. They'll start at the 39-yard line in their own territory. Prosser back in, back to pass, looking near side. Pressure comes from the backside. Steps up, throws incomplete, and off of the hands of Brandon Walks. And it'll be incomplete. Clock will stop with 2:46 to go. Brings up second down and 10. Pretty good throw by Prosser. The coverage wasn't bad, and he kind of zipped it in there. Walks just couldn't handle it.
And if you got a guy like that on the bench, as a second-string quarterback, that shows you what kind of depth you have on that team. That they can bring in a guy like that who can perform, tit for tat with what the leading quarterback, Eddie Garcia, is doing.
Prosser gives it inside handoff straight ahead going forward. Not much room there. As it was Darian Brown getting the carry for the Tories. Brings up 3rd down and 10. 2:20 and counting here in the third. 41-0 La Jolla Country Day. Matt Flores alongside Andrew Lockard from Santa Fe Christian High School. A home game for the Tri-City Christian Eagles. Prosser out of the shotgun, 3 receivers near side, looking down the middle, and it's going to be up for grabs and picked off by Reinke, and then he's tackled back at the 27-yard line. Good job by Reinke making a play on the ball. Ill-advised throw by Prosser, kind of threw it up for grabs.
Yeah, I was going to say the location for that was almost just a grab ball. He just kind of tossed it up, and the Eagles capitalize on that. And now they're well deep into their own defensive zone, but see if they can capitalize on that turnover.
Make sure and check the game schedule. Plenty of action coming your way next week as well as we wrap up the high school weekend here this afternoon. Tri-City Christian getting the ball back. 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Hensley now sends 4 receivers in. He's going to give it on a draw to Giese. Breaks off left tackle. Runs over 1 man. And gets forward for a gain of 5.
And Giese appears to be okay after we saw him being tended to a little bit on the sidelines. Takes a hard hit to the head there, but he's back up and on his feet. Big
collision with Matt Yandel of La Jolla Country Day, and I think Giese won that, although Yandel will get credit for the tackle. 1:35 and counting. 2nd and 5 for the Eagles. Again, 2 receivers to either side. Hensley looks over the middle of that defense as Pateau is not on the field at the moment for the Tories. Throw to the near side, looking for Berger. It's going to be incomplete. Also having a break on that ball and a chance with his Darian Brown, the defensive back for the Tories. And in the end falls harmlessly to the turf.
His weight was a little bit off balance on that play. Otherwise, I think he could have made a strong contest to pick up that ball. But either way, good coverage.
Little bit overthrown by Hensley. Make it 3rd down and 5. We'll see if they can convert right here. It was a problem early on. Since then, they've been making a few conversions here and there, but when you got to throw it every time, it makes it that much more difficult because the defense knows what you're doing. They pitch it near side to Giese, gets around the end, runs through 1 man, gets very close to the marker, and I think he's got it.
That is going to be close, and they mark it, and they will go ahead and move those chains.
Well, as a defensive back, I don't think you want Benjamin Giese, 6'3", 195 pounds, getting a full head of steam on a pitch like that and coming your way.
No, and it's a testament to the defense of the Tories that they've been able to contain him as much as they have.
4 receivers set. Again, Giese the lone back. Hensley now sends Wolf in motion across to the near side. Now the fumble snap, loose, and the Tories have it at the 40-yard line. Hensley's had trouble with the snap a couple times already, and this one he's going to lose it.
Just a bad break for the Eagles and another turnover, and we're going to see this ball already in the defensive territory of Tri-City. So the Eagles with another opportunity to put this game out of the reach, and you have to imagine, Matt, 1 or 2 more scores at this point, and this one's all but put to bed.
41-0 with 44 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. 1 more quarter of play coming your way, but for Tri-City Christian, they can't allow any more scores, no question about it. Prosser now under center with 3 receivers to the far side, very tight to the formation. They pitch it to Brown. He picks up a block, gets around the corner to the 40, 35, races towards the 1st down marker, picks it up, and knocked out of bounds at the 29-yard line.
Brown showing that he is fleet of foot with an excellent run on the outside, picking up the 1st down, just I think based on his speed.
Yeah, doesn't need a whole lot of blocking, just hold the guys up enough for him to turn that corner, and Brown, like you said, showcasing that speed. Picks up the 1st, 40 seconds to go in the 3rd. 1st and 10 at the Eagles' 29-yard line. Near side is Stein out wide, very wide from the formation, which is on the far side of the field. Prosser gives it to Brown. Cuts inside of one guy, still on his feet, the 25, dragged down near the 20-yard line. But a nice pickup by Brown of 8.
And look at that, Brown we haven't seen that much of in this game, putting on a clinic the last 2 plays.
It looks like they're giving starting tailback Colin McMahon a break, and Brown showing what he can do.
Brown only a sophomore. He's not a big guy. He stands at only 5'8", 140 pounds. But obviously he's a very fast young man.
Prosser surveys the defense. Looked like he was going to start in the shotgun. Now he gets up under center, and now we're going to get a whistle at the line. Actually, no, it's going to be the end of the third quarter as the officials will take the ball to the other side of the field, and we'll start the fourth quarter. But it's been all La Jolla Country Day, 41-0, all over Tri-City Christian here in this opening game of the season.
And hey, don't forget about our PlayOnSports.com postgame show, where we will select our player of the game, as well as wrap up all of the action from this ball game. That'll be coming up following the game on your destination for high school sports, PlayOnSports.com.
Matt Flores alongside Andrew Lockhart here on PlayOnSports.com, bringing you Saturday afternoon football here from San Diego. To be exact, we're in Solana Beach. Nice, beautiful, sunny day. Light breeze onshore from the coast, about a mile and a half from the shore. And high atop the press box, got a nice breeze blowing through. Couldn't ask for a much better setting on a Saturday afternoon as we get set for the fourth quarter. Ball's going to be down to the right of the screen now as you watch at home. The Eagles jogging down, and now La Jolla Country Day will come join them.
And I know I've mentioned it a couple times in this game, Matt, but I think this is where fatigue is really going to start setting in. These guys have been on both sides of the ball all game, and, you know, it's a hot day. It's the middle of the day. I think, you know, obviously you see the way they're moving out back onto the field to set up in their positions. Moving a little slower than they were at first, and I think this is where that really becomes a factor.
Those holes begin to get a little quicker or bigger. Prosser with a quick delivery to the tight end, caught at the 15-yard line to walks for a pickup of about 7, and that'll be a Tory first down. As you were saying, the fatigue sets in. That's when those holes, when you're running the ball, get a little bit wider and just a little more space to make plays.
I think the players are less inclined to run those deep routes at this point in the game, too, where it's a foot race. But we might see a little bit more running, and we're going to see a little bit more of the La Jolla Country Day offense while they're on their drive going deep into Tri-City territory.
Prosser back to pass, comes pressure from the near side, and he's sacked in the backfield by Liam Brenzel.
We haven't seen a whole lot of Brenzel in this game, but he comes up big on that last play. He's a junior for the Eagle squad.
We haven't seen a whole lot of pressure on any of the Tory quarterbacks throughout the day, and credit Brenzel for the first sack from them as he drops it for a 5-yard loss, making it 2nd down and 15. Also in the game now at tailback is number 24, Cole Goldklang, a sophomore for the Tories. He's going to be behind Prosser. Hard count by Prosser, draws off the Eagles, and it's going to be an offside penalty.
That was Brenzel, who we just saw make the sack. Looks like gets a little over anxious on that call.
2nd and 10 after gets a sack for a 5-yard loss and then gives it right back on the offsides penalty. 2nd and 10 at the 14-yard line of the Eagles. Prosser under center. Going to pitch it to Goldklang, trying to get out to the outside, and does, and then cuts back inside and gets forward close past the first down, and 2 penalties come flying in.
I think one of those is going to be against, Cody Galvin. Pretty sure he's going to get called for a hold on that.
There might have been 2 holds on the play.
Right.
So take your pick.
Holding is called against the Torres.
Penalty's being called at the 20-yard line, so it'll be a 10-yard penalty from that spot. And the Tories will get backed up all the way to their 30-yard line now as they're going backwards.
Well, that's going to hold him off. Tri-City, like we said, looking to prevent any more damage at this point.
Well, and at this point, you try to start working towards just getting better, getting prepared for the next week. And, you know, you got a great opponent here to evaluate your players against, so they still got to keep working here. 2nd down, 25. Prosser fakes the pitch, gives it on a delay up the middle, and getting forward for a short game is Cody Galvin as he gets to the 26-yard line.
Yeah, and you learn from every game that you play, and I think a team like La Jolla Country Day is a good measuring stick to see where you're at, see what you need to work on, where you need to go in the future, what sort of changes you need to make. So I think, you know, even if you don't come out with a win in this game, Tri-City's still making moves towards the next game and the week after that and the week after that.
3rd down and 20 for the Tories. I formation for Prosser. One receiver to either side. Prosser's going to keep it. Goes left side, just buries his head, loses the football, and the Eagles have it. Ball came flying out of there, and the Eagles recovered at the 16-yard line. So a big turnover as the Eagles finally get one back their way.
It was Cayman Burrow that came up with that. And one of the rare miscues we've seen, at least in terms of holding on to the ball from La Jolla Country Day.
And that was Prosser with the fumble. Obviously not used to carrying the ball inside. And turns it over right there. The Eagles get it back. And they didn't give up a score. And, you know, that's a small victory for that defense. They had a stop, actually, and then on top of that, they get the turnover.
Absolutely. They've done a good job stifling La Jolla Country Day's offense these last few drives.
1st and 10. Hensley. Wolf in motion from the near side. Fake the pitch. Gives it inside to Giese. Coming through. Breaks through to the 25. Dragging players with him out past the 30.
And that's the kind of drives that Giese is accustomed to. Just those plays where he can overpower the defense, find a hole, use his speed, and really break through.
Back to the small victories. It's the score 41-0 in favor of La Jolla Country Day. But so far in the second half, only one score for La Jolla Country Day. So that Tri-City Christian Eagle defense with some momentum right there.
Yeah, they've been putting up a fight.
1st and 10. This time Berger's in motion from the far side. They're going to give it to him on a sweep, and he gets hit hard right at the 30-yard line. Momentum carries him to the 32.
And Giese doing a blocking job right there was in a bit of a pickle. He had 2 guys he needed to block, but obviously he's only one man, so he split the difference there, took one of them, and the other one took out the runner, and that stopped the play.
Deshaun Berger, the carry, he's one of the players that Coach Brown and the Tri-City Christian Eagles are excited about this year. They got him over the summer in a transfer. Kind of had to wait for his papers to get cleared and everything, but got him out in the field, and he's one of those players they look forward to contributing this year. 2nd down and 9. Wolf in motion. Fake to him. Hensley back to pass. Steps up. Throws. Has a man open. That's Giese. Catches it near midfield. To the 40. To the 30. Stays on his feet. Stumbles. Finally tripped up. And he gets to the 21-yard line. As give credit to Tyler Scheffel, finally able to get enough of Giese to knock him off balance and bring him down.
And you know what I'm seeing a little bit differently from Tri-City in these last few plays is that they're doing more deception. It looks like they're faking a handoff initially and then opening up, opting for a pass play. And it looks like they're having some success with that, and especially that great run by Giese. Now they're sitting in a good position to put up a score.
And that time, give credit to that offensive line. Gave the protection to Hensley for him to step up and make that throw and hit Giese on the money. 1st and 10 at the 21 of La Jolla Country Day. Hensley with a long count. Gives it right up the middle to Giese. Breaks one tackle at the line. Stays on his feet to the 10-5. Cuts inside to the 5. Touchdown, Tri-City Christian.
And there we go. They went with their guy Giese. Like I said, he's been stifled quite a bit. He's been limited by La Jolla Country Day, but it seems like they're starting to find plays. They're really giving him the ability to shine, and shine he is. putting up the first score.
Yeah, Benjamin Geese not giving up. I mean, we saw him come to the sideline with potential injury, came back in the field and making a big catch, and now a big run, a 21-yard touchdown, and the Eagles on the board. With 4 minutes to go here in the game, again at the conclusion of this afternoon's game, we'll have a PlayOn Sports Player of the Game, as Geese will actually line it up to kick the extra point. Hensley will hold. It's a good snap, good hold. Geese just off the side of his foot, and I think he missed it wide right. I said good snap, and actually it was not a great snap, and Hensley got it down, just not great timing as Geese came in there to put it up.
And hey, do you want to watch more of your school's great matchups, like the game you're enjoying here today? Tell your school to sign up for the PlayOn Sports School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. And for more information on that, go to playonsports.com/SBP.
Matt Flores alongside Andrew Lockhart here from Santa Fe Christian High School in Solana Beach. Tri-City Christian taking on La Jolla Country Day, and both teams have traded a touchdown here in the second half, but that first half by La Jolla Country Day is the difference, as the score 41-6 with under 3 minutes to go in this one.
And at this point, Matt, I think your priorities are shifting. If you're Tri-City, you're not necessarily trying to put up a win. I think that's out of their grasp at this point. But what they can work on is their execution, both offensively and defensively. They're getting valuable experience for a lot of their players in this game. And I think you're just focusing on execution, doing what you need to do, and working out the kinks, the bugs in your system, getting prepared for next game.
Yeah, and like you said, that's something that's going to help you next week. I mean, they executed a great drive right there against the defense that has stifled them all day, so that's got to account for something and maybe give them some confidence going into this next week of practice. And with the running clock now, we're getting close to 2 minutes to go as the Eagles get set to kick it off. Burmeister standing back at his own 8. That's not the guy you want to kick it to if you're the Eagles. Burmeister has had his hand in 4 touchdowns today. Definitely has to be a leading candidate for the PlayOnSports.com Player of the Game. Burmeister takes it at the 11, runs to the wedge at the 30, runs into traffic, and then dropped right there.
Well, good job shutting down Burmeister for the most part. He had a lot of protections in front of him. It looks like he just ran into too much traffic there.
A little extra pushing and shoving. A flag comes in well after the whistle, and we'll see who gets tagged with this one.
Looks like a player is hurt for Tri-City. That's John Storr. He's having some problem with his legs, maybe just a cramp. It looks like he's going to stay out on the field. And he looks like he just worked that one out of his system.
Once those cramps, once you get to the point where you start cramping, it's really hard to get past it. They just keep flaring up, especially at this late juncture in the game.
Oh yeah, but with this kind of heat too, it's hard to stay hydrated, and that's definitely a symptom of getting towards dehydration, is when your muscles start cramping like that.
The Tories, meanwhile, will start back at their own 16. We'll see who Coach Hutzler sends out there to navigate the offense. Looks like it's going to be Jimmy Prosser.
I think maybe we'll see one more play in this game. Not a whole lot of time left. They might just let this one tick away.
Under 20 seconds. Prosser gets his team up to the line of scrimmage and might just see a knee. And he does. Takes a snap and takes a knee, and that's going to be it. As the final seconds will tick off as La Jolla Country Day starts the season in tremendous fashion, dominating Tri-City Christian. Final score 41-6 in favor of the Tories here on PlayOnSports.com. We're going to take a quick timeout, and we'll be back to wrap this one up. You're listening to PlayOnSports.com.
Welcome back to PlayOnSports.com, live from Santa Fe Christian High School in Solana Beach. Matt Flores alongside Andrew Lockard as we have our opening game in the books. La Jolla Country Day dominating Tri-City Christian here today, 41-6. The final score. They came out and really took charge in that first quarter and that first half, dominated the game and just kind of ran away with it from there.
I think if you're La Jolla Country Day, you could not have asked for much more. Everything seemed to be working for them offensively, defensively. They only let 6 points up against them. And offensively, obviously, Sage Burmeister shined. But so many people contributed in so many ways to this game. It seemed like everything just went as planned for La Jolla Country Day.
And with a start like that and the senior leadership, La Jolla Country has got to be, looking at it, having a really strong season, strong showing, not only in the Coastal League but also in Division 5, and the playoff opportunities that may be in front of them. Meanwhile, for Tri-City Christian, came out, they just got off to the worst start possible. They had 3 turnovers on the day. They couldn't control Burmeister at all. But in the second half, it seemed like they kind of came together a little bit, executed a little bit better. At least they got on the scoreboard, and they were able to defensively at least stop La Jolla Country Day here and there.
Yeah, and especially in the fourth quarter, I think Tri-City really started picking it up offensively. They started to hit their stride, a little bit of deception on their fake handoff pass plays. That seemed to be working for them. And defensively, they only allowed that 1 score against. So I think it's not a total loss for Tri-City. I mean, at least in terms of experience, they got a lot of good experience, and they can take that forward going into the rest of the games this season. It's learning experience for them.
So for Tri-Cities, they'll face Borrego Springs next year and try to get their first victory. And now, player of the game, I mean, it was pretty obvious. There's one player that shined today, had his hand in 4 touchdown plays for the La Jolla Country Days, and it's a pretty obvious decision by us.
I think so. We got to go with Sage Burmeister, who was so good offensively. We saw him make some defensive plays that stood out to me as well, especially early on when the tone of the game was still being set. But Sage, excellent game by him.
And the interesting thing when you look at his performance today, he didn't have a ton of touches, but when he did, he made something happen. You talk about a 44-yard punt return, a 75-yard touchdown run, a 1-yard touchdown run, and then also had a 62-yard or so touchdown pass. So
yeah, how often do you hear numbers like that?
Yeah, and if you talk about total touches, it couldn't have been more than a dozen, yet he had handed 4 touchdown plays. So Sage Burmeister, our player of the game, will try to track him down for an interview. That's it here for the post-game show. Great performance. La Jolla Country Day starts the season with the win, 41-6 on top of Tri-City Christian. We want to thank our support staff today, Brian Vilvan back in the studio engineering, Jared Wright, our engineer, Adolfo Villanueva, our cameraman, and for Andrew Lockard, I'm Matt Flores. You're listening to PlayOnSports.com as we kick off the season. La Jolla Country Day on top of Tri-City Christian, 41-6.